bring them out. Let's bring out all three judges. Dogstar. Judge Brett Domrose. Oh, very nice. Judge Mailhouse. Judge Reeves. This is going to break up the band. It's terrible.
I just a bass player. We're playing musical chairs.
I don't understand what just
That could be the name of the box set.
Duck.
Virgo just showed up.
Sorry. Okay, I'll sit down.
Sit down, Virgo.
Okay.
First question, guys. I mean this. I always liked and cared about this band, but I think with this record, you have become the band you always dreamed of. It's like Pinocchio. You became a real boy, a real band. What made the difference with this record? Why do you think it's the best thing you've done yet?
He's looking at me. Let's ask the baby in the back. Whatever the baby just said. I think it's hard to explain. I would say that it feels like it's the music seems to be on this particular album, and even the one right before it, but this one especially, it feels like it's the music that we as fans would like. We absorbed our old favorite bands into one, and then it sort of came out of us, and hooking up with Nick Launay was with the icing on the cake, because he brought us to that level of sonic authority, and just he brought the best out of us with, sonically and mixing and sound, and comes from that same sort of mindset of that 80s post-punk sort of that kind of sounds from England and the post-punk movement, Manchester, and those kind of soaring guitar sounds, and I think we just sort of hit it on the nose with that combination. And for me anyway, I just felt it was the album that we kind of maybe wanted to make earlier, but we might have not been either mature enough, or we just didn't have the time, or we were distracted by the decade we were in. So it's all those things.
A lot of us are distracted by the decade we're in right now.
But it's a good name for an album.
Yes,
Distracted
exactly.
by the decade you're in.
Well, let me ask you, for everybody, I think this record, one reason it's so great is that it so clearly reflects a band that has gone on the road and realized we don't want to be ponderous. We want to. You've gone out and played festivals in front of huge crowds, and this sounds like a ready-made to play on a giant festival stage in front of people who might not even be your core fans. This record has so much energy and passion. Do you think playing live, touring the world, has impacted it a lot?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We felt that coming off the road. We did like 100 shows, and I think coming off, we went right into the writing, and we had, we had a lot of energy to write, I think. And I think playing in front of audience, we got
confidence.
Oh yeah, we got that.
Because when you play a festival, you don't know if anyone's going to be there for you, because it's not your show, right? It's your one of many. And if there's people, great. And then they stay, or the crowd gets bigger as you're playing, then you get that, that moment of maybe this is going in the right direction here. And
the other part of that is, you talked about going right back into writing after. The other thing, I think there's a lot of bands that have not broken up for 20 years who don't like each other at this point. I sense you guys actually are still in the throes of enjoying each other's company. Is that accurate, or have you fooled me?
I think more than ever, right? Yeah, I think I feel like I haven't laughed this hard in 20 years, so there's a lot of fun we're having as a little family that we are.
And this is 2 or 3 days into the tour. Let's talk a little bit later in the tour and see how that. No, I do sense, and I've had these guys on a podcast I do called Naked Lunch with Phil Rosenthal, and no, you don't. Okay, you can do that. No, but like that's one of the things is like the enjoyment you get from one another is really thrilling, and I think it's contagious. And you know, we're a few blocks away from where was it last year when you played the Regent? Already is that? Oh yeah, but last year I got to see the guys. Did anyone see the band at the Regent? Oh, raise your hands. How awesome was that show?
Security.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. As Kimber said, I've been doing the Grammys 25 years, so that means I think the term is old as fuck. But I don't think I've ever seen a band do a show and do as much new material and have it come over as powerfully as it did a few blocks from here at the Regent. You guys were the best I've ever heard you, and I imagine you were the best you've ever been last night or wherever. Was it last night you played?
No, the Regent was better.
Okay. You mentioned, Keanu, about writing, and can you guys all discuss the writing process for this band? I think it's mysterious because, it's unusual. Can you describe a little bit how this band really does write? And how key Brett, even though he has only one T in Brett, is so crucial to that process?
Yeah, I mean, Brett writes all the lyrics. He sings all the songs. Live, Robert's starting to do some backup. You're going to do some backup? You're going to do some background, I think, on this tour.
I could play the harmonica.
And you've been playing the harmonica. And we tend to, build songs off of riffs. So whether it's a riff I play or a riff that Brett plays or a drum beat that Robert's playing, and then we'll if we all kind of just get into that, then we go, well, okay, well, what's next? What does it become? What does it need? And how do we develop the song? And then Robert kind of says whether or not it's getting fucked up or not. like that's too many. No, why are you making another change? And what are you doing? Just stop.
Leave it alone.
Let's just stop.
Well, you may be undercutting your contribution as a title. I understand that you are often key to titling songs.
Well, sometimes I'll write a riff and I'll send it to the fellas and I'll name it. So, and sometimes that stays with the song when Brett goes to write the lyrics, and sometimes it doesn't.
How many of you have heard the new album? Okay.
Wow, thank you. Right on.
Better not make any
Thank you.
mistakes.
Yeah, man.
I'm with you because I just love this record. I flew back from New York yesterday listening to it the whole time. So that was 6 hours of the album, still trying to decide what my favorite songs are. There is one title I tried to change with these guys and failed miserably. So Shards of Rain is still called Shards of Rain.
It's called Shards of Rain.
Yes. and so
yeah.
I'm willing to accept
You're
my
not the
defeat.
only one that's tried to change that title.
Yeah, Nick tried to change it
Where is
too.
he? Our producer
Our
was
producer Nick Lanay is here tonight.
Oh my God.
What?
Stand up, Nick Lanay.
Please stand.
The
Please
greatest
stand.
producer. Look at I stood up. Why am I standing?
Sorry, it's still Shards of Rain.
I didn't.
Nick, who has been producing, even though he looks
make
younger
this all
than
about
me.
Nick.
Yeah, let's say.
Come on, Nick.
Nick has produced or engineered or recorded some of the
Mixed.
greatest trios of all time, including now this one, XTC, The Jam, Silverchair.
Yes.
So
Nick Cave in the bad seats.
exactly.
That trio.
But let's talk about being a trio. What do you love about being a trio? Because one thing is this album, with Nick's help, sounds so big and full, but you can do that. Cream sounded pretty big. Even The Police sounded pretty big. What is it about being a trio that you've learned?
Go.
I'm still learning.
I'm still learning.
It just works with this band, I think. It's something that it's like if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? Is it kind of like that? Like it's working, and I don't think we ever really thought about it very much.
It's just also the space that you have with three instruments. You have bass, drums, guitar, and there's just a lot more room, to hear each other in the triangle. I mean, most of my favorite bands, and I think a lot of us, were maybe four-piece bands, but maybe the singer didn't play an instrument, so it was really a trio. Like Led Zeppelin, there was just three, but there was four. But in a lot of bands are like that, I think.
You're saying you're better than Led Zeppelin?
No. I'm saying
more
I
compact.
no, God, lightning. I'm just saying that, oh God, God. What
Next
are you trying to do to
question.
us?
Bigger than the Beatles.
You said that,
Oh,
David.
I said
that. You said that.
I did say that.
Yeah.
You said it.
I'll stand by the Zeppelin.
No.
I'll say it to their faces.
But there's a certain, I think when I met Keanu, we jammed quite a bit as just bass and drums in his garage up in I can say it now because I lived there, Beechwood Canyon.
Yes.
And I think we spent so much time, just the two of us, playing. When we had a guitar come in, it was like, oh. It was like this. It was like 10 things came in, and then the way Brett plays, Brett's, as they say in the business, money in the bank. He doesn't just play
That's actually
guitar.
his Hebrew name, Money in the Bank. That is.
He's got a big, as you can see, it's a stereo split with a beautiful matchless and Marshall, and it's a bigger sound, and he can sort of paint his paintbrush around the bass and drums, and it really works out well. And if you add another instrument in, it could work, but it sometimes gets crowded, and then you have his voice, which there's your fourth band member right there.
Well, you talked about when you two met. For the history's sake, you did meet in the most rock and roll place of all time, right? You two met at what supermarket was it?
It wasn't Rock and Roll Ralph's on Sunset.
That would have been the most rock and roll.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, man. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry, I had a flashback. No, it was Beechwood Canyon. It was a more kind of Los Angeles country market. Yeah.
Well, and then Brett comes into the picture a little bit later, and I want to ask about that because, Brett, you came in as sort of I think initially, here's an extra guitar guy, and you take the hostile takeover, and you become the lead singer, frontman, main lyrical writer. Can you talk about, when you stepped into this band, what was your...
Do you want the truth?
Yes, we would like...
I'm starting
I
to
can't
sound like
handle the truth.
I'm from Wall Street, like hostile takeover, Money in the Bank. Like,
Exactly.
oh my God.
Well, it feels very Wall Street up here, very epic. The question is, talk about when you came into the band and how did this become,
Okay, I'm going to tell you guys about the very first day I met these fellas. And it was a very interesting experience because I went up under the pretense of helping the other guitar player fix his amplifier. And I got to their house. There was like a jam space they had in a house. And I was pretty new to LA. So I'm sitting there, and then I noticed them, all of a sudden, the three of them disappear. So I'm just sitting in this house by myself, looking around, like, what's going on? Where is everybody? And then Rob came back out first and said, "Do you live near here?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Do you want to go get your guitar and bring it back and jam with us?" And I was like, "Okay." And so then I did, and I never left.
It worked out. Thank God you said yeah and said you lived nearby. Otherwise,
And 7 days or 6 days after that, we played the Troubadour with them.
that's amazing.
Yeah. And then it was beautiful.
And can you just tell me? You can each. I guess I'll start with Rob. Just what do you love musically about the other two guys? Tell me something you love about playing with the other two guys. About each of the other two guys.
Well, both Keanu and Brett are full of melody. They're melodic. Brett has great melodies when we're writing songs in his vocals, even when he doesn't have the words yet. The melodies are there. I mean, you can you can say, Pineapple Express, but he makes the melody. Same with Keanu. The bass playing is very melodic, and harking back to sort of bands that I've loved as well, like you mentioned, like Peter Hook or Joy Division or The Cure, that sort of sound that I always loved. And so hanging your hat around these two is fairly inspiring and fun for me. I just try not to get in the way and just sort of piece it together with the vocal and that. So they're so full of melody, it's so much fun that I feel like I love the band, but I also feel like I'm a fan.
And Brett, now you have to say something nice about the other two guys.
That's easy. Well, of course, like you mentioned, Rob is the, he is such a songwriter's drummer. So I've been in a lot of bands and as a young guy, and all you ever want is someone that listens to the fucking song while you're playing, and not just doing drums all over the place, and you're like, ah, Jesus. And Rob's the best at that. He's just such a great songwriter.
Well, Ringo's the best at that, but Rob is second.
No, Ringo's not here, is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't say
A
Ringo.
little surprise, yeah.
Oh, there he is, right there. Ringo, I love you.
And I think Rob plays piano really well, so he thinks like a songwriter, and not like Animal from the Muppets and And I mean, it's hard to pick a favorite thing, but it's a very groovy thing. Keanu, I think is like kind of piggybacking off what Rob says, is extremely melodic.
That's it.
Unafraid.
That's it. That's good.
No, and there's so much. I got to pick one.
No, just say that's great. Thanks.
And your attendance is excellent as well.
He's punctual.
Punctual bass player.
No, he does things on the bass that are like, he's not afraid. Like, he'll do things that are a little unusual for your typical bass player. Like, he'll play some chords on the bass, and then that leads to a lot of good songs. So when these guys start getting together and doing that, it's easy to write to. Fill in the gaps with these guys. So,
Keanu, anything you like about these two?
Absolutely. As Robert kind of mentioned, we've been playing together for so long. For me, it's like I just love how it's kind of quantum now. We're connected. I mean, there have been times Robert we're like, we'll play, and then Robert will go do something. I'll do something at the same time, and like, what just happened? It's wonderful, and the energy that he plays with, and the listening, and I think that's actually what I would say distinctive about this trio is the way that we musically listen, and I think that comes with because we write the music together. Like we're in it from the ground up. Well, where should it go? What's the next part? We're all doing something, and then we agree. And we come to and like, oh wow, there's the song. And I think that's kind of with the way that we're listening and playing together. I think we're all making the music, which is fucking cool. And and so Brett's playing his virtuosity. And it's an inside joke, but anyway. And just the playing, the sonic, sounds, the choice, and then lyrically and vocally, I think on this album he's really taking chances, the range and we're doing rock songs and rock operas, and there's a lot in there that we're gonna play.
He's looking at the set list.
And you are playing the last song. Everyone stick around. I will only reveal my favorite song on the new record as of today is the last song you'll play.
Really?
Oh my God, I just fall.
We just cut that.
Well, now you're going to piss them off. Now, speaking of them.
Wait. By the way, this song that almost didn't make the record.
Yes.
It wasn't recorded originally, right? Am I thinking of the right? I'm thinking of the right song. Yeah, it wasn't recorded originally, and then Nick, our producer, said, "Well, let's hear it, and maybe we should do that one." And
here's how good the song is. I will say it's called "This Sphere," and I was at the Sphere watching No Doubt a week ago, singing "This Sphere" to myself instead of No Doubt songs, because so in my head I'm looking forward to 4 or 5 years for you now when you do the Sphere. And do this Sphere at the Sphere. That's a goal.
no pressure. Okay.
I want to talk about these people, the fans, because I will say I remember going to an early show, and I think I was the only guy there. And I have seen your audience has evolved and grown up, and there are actually men there and everything. And there are some of the most passionate fans I've ever encountered. For example, I don't know if I've discussed this with you, but just us talking about a Japanese group called Baby Metal and another one called Shoulder Knife.
Man, Baby Metal.
That on the
So
podcast,
good.
that got 2.5 million views because your fans around the world are just so passionate. What do they bring to the equation? And, to go away for 20 years and to find out your fans, I mean, you have now, I'm sure, a new generation, but what do they mean to you?
They're like oxygen.
So good.
That would
Almost
bad would be like
almost
carbon
essential.
dioxide. Would be, that would be. It's like fuel. It's everything. You know, we're all fans of music, and we go to shows too. You know, and it's the same thing. But I think for being on the stage without it, it's just the missing link. It's like it's like pure oxygen, and they listen and give back and communicate with them, and we listen to them, and it's just helpful. And it's shocking too, because you know we don't expect it. You don't know what's going to happen, and I just appreciate all the love and support we've gotten. It's incredible. Yeah.
And when you get to, yeah, you can applaud for yourself. That's not self-indulgent. When you run into these nice people, like not just on the roof of this building,
Like physically run into them, like knock them over.
when you knock them over, do you apologize? That's the question. No. What do you think is the nature of the connection? What do they tell you they get from the music? Because this record, I get a lot of, like, at a time when there's a lot going on in the world, this record has a ton of passion, energy, just like, and again, it's like, it's not like there's a lot of darkness and a lot of light, I find that, but at least even the title, All In Now, it's like a level of commitment to the music and to life that I find very positive.
I like hearing that there's, you know, I like hearing that people connect with the lyrics and that the music lifts them up and gives them hope and makes them happy. I mean, just hearing that makes you happier than, you know, I've put my little 1/3 in, these guys put their 1/3 in, and it goes out in the world and you never know. And just getting that connection of lifting each other up is pretty amazing.
And is it fair to say, you've said a few times over the last couple of years to me, if it's not fun, we're not doing it. Like this band, there are a lot of bands that are doing it because that is the only way they have to pay the rent, or that is the, you know, they have a lot of ex-wives to pay off. What is the motivation? What is the motivation? What keeps you guys? Because you have really, since you came back, you have not really stopped, other than, you know, each of you doing your other projects, or, you know, fitting a film in here or there. You've really kept this ball rolling. You know, we're grateful, but how has that happened? What is that? Because it seems like it's a precious commodity to be in a band and to be in your moment.
I think we're full of music inside of us, and we want to get it out. It's like bottled in, and all three of us, when we get together, you can tell we're like kids, you know. And maybe we didn't get a chance to get it all out, or we tried, and now it seems to be hitting on all cylinders, and we're getting it out and finding people to help us, and that's the hardest part. Like, we definitely can't do this alone. I mean, we have like the best managers ever. Q Prime, honestly, they're not just, but they're just amazing people, human beings. If this thing were to end tomorrow, we'd still be friends. And then we have, you know, William Morris helping us out, like people helping us, you know, and a crew, and Todd we've been with forever, and they're here tonight, and the techs.
It's not a Grammy acceptance speech, Rob.
Yeah. And
Grammy performance.
It could be. It could be.
I'd like to thank my mom.
Yeah, and oh shit, they're playing us off.
Well, by the way, when I met you, you were on a label called Zoo. You know,
We killed that out.
Yeah, exactly. They were gone within, you know, I think as we were leaving, they were taking the sign off the wall. You've seen a lot of changes in the music industry, and you've managed to sort of outlive a lot of labels. What have you learned?
We hibernated for a lot of it, right?
Yes. Now, I know you didn't record. Was there ever more than a couple of years when you would see each other? What was the longest stretch?
Like romantically?
Yes. If that's, you know, if you want to be that open, yes. No. How long would it be? Were there many years when you didn't talk to one another?
There were years. Yeah, there were years. I'd say, you know, a few, maybe 5 was a long stretch for me to not talk to either of these guys. But then we would always get together every once in a while and play and just reconnect that way, with just for fun, not trying to do anything, just say hello and You know, make sure the equipment still works, and
That sounded dirty.
you know, yeah, well, in your mind, David.
Who asked who? Who was the first one to say we should do it again? Was it a simultaneous? We're going back to the toppermost of the poppermost, like the Beatles, or who said let's play again?
Lately,
we just
the last time where we actually got together, we met up at a breakfast.
Yeah.
And started talking about musical equipment, and kind of nerding out on amplifiers and drums and whatever, and
Listen up, ladies.
this is where the good stuff is.
Well, my
Yeah.
gear was still at Roberts, right? So
His bass ramp never left.
The bass rig was always there. Yeah. It was all of us. It was all.
Yeah.
By the way, that's I think can be an important and beautiful thing. I was once at I'll drop a name, which is not unusual. I was at Stevie Nicks' house once, and she, off the side of her kitchen, there was a keyboard, and she goes, "That's Christine's. I keep it here because I'm hoping she'll come back." And that was during the many years before she came back, and she came back
Rest
for
in
her
peace.
keyboard. Yeah,
Rest
may
in
she
peace.
rest in peace. I guess just a little bit more about the making of this record. Like, how quickly did this material? Because it is really assured and strong, and it's not a. I don't think it's a rock opera, but it has a song cycle. It has a sort of dynamic to it. How quickly did the sessions come together?
We woodshedded in the rehearsal space, Roberts, and then Mike Nightingale's. What did we do? We did probably at least 6 weeks, 5-6 weeks, yeah, of woodshedding. Like, okay, we're gonna meet at noon. Then it was like started to be we'll meet at 1, and then we would like go until like it was supper time, and then we would say, okay, we'll see you tomorrow. And then we would do it again, and then we'd go like, oh, maybe we need a day off, and then we'd go back.
And
Like a children's book.
There's dangerous rock and roll here.
Studio C.
We had a whiteboard and some Gatorades.
Yeah, we had
and tore the shit out of the
whiteboards.
place.
We eventually got the fridge. We did. We had the whiteboard. We got the little fridge. We had the couch. We had the thing. We just would go woodshed. We had like notes and papers and riffs and things, and it was actually really
And Rob is
fun.
really good at recording all the ideas. So I'm sure a lot of songs would have got away if it wasn't for him and his devices that he likes to use. And
Yeah.
and
I'm recording you right now.
Jesus. Well, there's an erase button on there. I know that. So, but you know, I mean, there's things that after a 6-hour day or whatever, and you know, maybe some beer would have floated away into the ether. And then Rob came in the next day and was like, "Listen to this," and I didn't have any memory of doing it. Not in an alcohol-infused way, but in just exhausted. We threw out 20 ideas that day, and so he grabbed onto a few, and they became songs. So without that, who knows? We might still be writing that album.
And for the two actors on either end, how does the pace of being in a band? Do you enjoy it more than the pace of being on a set? I've often, I've toured with bands and I've been on sets, and I like bands. I like the life of bands. I like seeing the world. I like, performing for audiences. I like watching people perform for audiences. What do you love about the life of a band? And you're about to spend the summer, right, being on the road. What do you love about it?
I don't know. I like playing shows. I like traveling. I like playing shows. It's nice getting amplified. It's nice playing music with folks and the energy and every day's new, different adventure. Even though it's got its rhythms. Like sound check and arriving in the new hotel and the thinging and the thanging. But it's good. It's fun. Where are we gonna eat? What are we gonna do? Let's go.
And who
fucking
determines
play.
where you're going to eat?
That's Robert.
Yes.
Robert knows what's good. Money in the bank, where to eat. And I don't know what I do, but I don't
You
know.
name the songs.
I name. And
You do so much.
let's go play a show, man. Or are we gonna take some questions?
Oh, we're going
or
to take.
What are we doing?
Well, we
What are
have
doing?
some questions from the audience, which I will ask.
Yeah.
The first one is hurry up.
Well, this is interesting because the first question is, which bands inspire you? Because I think they're probably a little different for each of you, but starting with Rob.
You're kind of a lot different.
Yes.
Today, or could they be living or dead?
I didn't
Because
ask
most
them-
of my favorite ones are.
It's not my question.
Okay, that's
I didn't
fair.
write XOXO at the end of it. So
Ooh.
it's although I do XO.
Oh, you
XO.
did? You did that? Okay.
Hi.
Come up here and sing a song. No, I'm just kidding.
Take it any way you like.
I love David Bowie. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Controversial point of view.
I think, for me, the 60s and 70s, I had older sisters, so I got all the hand-me-down records, and I'm old enough to be lucky enough to live in that, or be a little boy and see, all the rise of the Beatles and the Stones and all the stuff, and punk and post-punk and 80s and stuff. So all that stuff. But right now, I think David Bowie's is the most missed. Like, I feel like I can listen to those records all day long, all the time,
And you guys opened for Bowie fairly early in your life, right?
Yeah, a Halloween show in the 90s.
Yeah.
Halloween night in Hollywood, opening for David Bowie.
Palladium.
It was a pretty
At
weird.
the Palladium.
Yeah, what a night! What a night!
I'm so glad you guys weren't there.
Brett with one T. What was? Because by the way, I have to say I'm such a fan of. I think Brett as a vocalist and guitarist is just kind of growing and growing. But the first time I heard him, I was like, wow, he's. I think he must have liked Bono. He has a lot of Bono's sort of. Not that it sounds like you're doing him, but I hear a connection. But increasingly, his voice has gotten so powerful that it reminds me of a guy, again, because I am old enough to remember the 70s, Robin Zander from Cheap Trick, one of the great voices of all time. I hear these colors that you don't hear in rock and roll anymore because no one can sing it except Robin Zander still and Brett. Who were the bands for you?
Okay, well, both of those singers are amazing influences on me. You have a very good ear, David.
That's my only good feature.
Just one ear. I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I was my people.
And I
brought them all with me.
I just met your sister, who's I heard her. She's quite a great singer too.
She sang way before me, man. I learned a lot through the wall from listening to her sing,
And your mom, I hear.
my mom plays every instrument. Doesn't even know what the instrument is. She'll just pick it up and play it. No lessons. It's amazing, except guitar, oddly enough. But I grew up as a listener, like Rob said, first when I was young, and I loved songs. I loved Elton John. I loved I loved all the songwriters of the '70s, and so before I ever thought about being a musician or a songwriter, I was just a listener, and that's kind of what I started with. And then I picked up the guitar way back when I was 11 years old, and then I started thinking about what the guitar was doing in these songs, and that started becoming more like U2, The Police, learning their parts, just wanting to be able to make my amp sound like them, let alone play the notes that they could play. So I pushed myself really hard to be able to play. And Andy Summers from The Police is not an easy guitar player to copy, let me tell you.
Jazz chords.
I mean, it was, yeah. So I jammed a lot of different things in there, and I never ever thought about singers. That came last, and so whatever I do singing is whatever happens unconsciously, I guess, from listening to great singers over the years. But I don't feel like I'm modeled after anybody as a singer consciously. But guitar playing, definitely, The Edge, Andy Summers, all those guys.
Keanu, did you like any bands or no? Absolutely none.
You just woke him up.
My long answer, sorry. I mean,
No. I was in a reverie.
That's a good title, better than Shards of Rain.
Oh
Reverie.
my God. That's it.
well, we came up with a new version of Shards of Rain. Nick will like this one. Shards of Nay, as in Chardonnay.
Chardonnay.
We get silly backstage. Okay.
I'm sorry, Keanu. What were the
I
bands?
would say if I was listening to, I'm Melody. I would say the Kims. So Kim Gordon, Kim Deal. I would say would be super strong influences on how I play bass in the sense of where I sit, whether kind of keeping it, whether it's just what's the chord, like playing the A's and then going into melody off of that, and probably Peter Hook at Joy Division.
Which-
So when Brett talks about me playing chords, when I'm like coming up with riffs, it's a lot of open string. So I'll do open strings and as a second note to make a chord. Anyway.
The next question is from Amy S. What song do you enjoy performing the most live and why?
That changes, right? That changes for us, but I guess we can go through here. Well, you go first. Which one is your favorite right now?
Well, tonight, I like playing Joy a lot. It just has this like sort of beat that I just sort of fell in love with, and I'm not sure. They're all so exciting and stuff. I mean, I was just listening to the Clash before I came here on my headphones, and some of those beats that Topper Heaton of the Clash, some of those, I just love those drum beats. But I think subconsciously in my head, maybe I was trying to do some of that in Exalted or something like that. But I love playing Joy live because it has so much space, and Brett just really, his guitars take me off on a magic carpet. I kind of lose myself. I have to hold them on. It just goes woo.
Well,
Yeah.
because you mentioned the Clash, I'll interrupt before I ask these two for their song, because we're at the Grammy Museum, and I am biased because I've worked on the Grammys for 25 years. Did you watch the Grammys, any of you growing up, and was there ever anything on the Grammys that made an impression on you since we're in the
Oh my God,
house?
yes. I watched the Grammys all the time when growing up. Yeah, I always remember Stevie Wonder.
Oh my!
I mean, I just remember the performances being so, they look so easy for them. And I remember thinking, I'd be terrified if I were on the Grammys. I'm like, 12 years old, and Stevie Wonder's just up there like, like. So I just remember that was a big one.
Stevie Wonder was for the younger people here, was such a big part of the Grammys for that period in the 70s into the 80s that when he didn't put a record out one year, Paul Simon won Album of the Year, and he got up and said, I would like to thank Stevie Wonder for not putting out an album.
I love that.
That was his first thank you.
That's so great.
So you can answer either question. I'm giving you a choice. That's how much I love you guys all. Either a Grammy performance or what is your favorite song to play?
It's Shards of Rain.
You mean Shards of Nay?
Okay.
My terrible idea was to call it Pause so that you would say, Siri, play Pause, and it would never play the song. Let's move on to another question. This one is hard to read. If you could do a collaboration with any artist, musician, band, living or deceased, who would that be and why? Also, how would you collaborate with the deceased person?
Well, you're in the Netherlands. You're in another world of make-believe, and it's a dream.
I
and
think
it's
you're playing in the
happening.
Netherlands later in the
It's a
summer.
yes.
Yes. Who would be your dream collaboration?
I'd like to is it Ravi Shankar? Yeah,
I'm
man.
gonna follow this.
Yeah, just fucking have a bass, some pedals, and just Shankar, man, and just get into because I really love the repetition and melody and just going into the fabric. So just fucking trip out with Ravi Shankar, playing bass. Yeah,
You
man.
and George Harrison. He loved Ravi.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick that today.
I got to interview him, his last interview ever for a George Harrison documentary, and he was cool until the very end. What an absolute genius. Anyone else besides Ravi Shankar that Dogstar will be collaborating with in dreams?
I don't. Oh, in our dreams. I never really thought about it, but while he was answering this wonderful answer, I just envisioned myself jamming with Elton John, standing right next to his piano. Maybe playing Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting or one of those rockers.
I would pay for that. Do you have one?
As a pianist, I love Philip Glass. So for me, and as that's my
That's-
main instrument,
When you were talking about Ravi Shankar, I was thinking about
Philip
Glass. No, that repetition
yes,
and
that's
the sort of
that's
you
what I
get into
agree.
the zen
They're
of it.
arpeggiated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love that kind of ambient music, the Brian Eno and Harold Budd and Philip Glass. So as a pianist that way, and as a drummer, oh man, anyone that would have me.
You know, I just interviewed Angelique Kidjo. I don't know if you were familiar with her the other day, and she was saying she collaborated with Philip Glass, and she goes, the secret is he's like a kid with his enthusiasm for music. Like, even though he's this legend, and I think that's part of the secret for Dogstar is your enthusiasm for this band and to keep playing is part of what makes it all work. I think that's almost always true. This is sort of, we touched on, but Yvette wanted to know, do your creatively different backgrounds influence how you build songs? Do you find that your individual perspectives and all this help with the, can you give us maybe an example of one of the songs you're going to play tonight, like what everyone brought to one of these songs?
Math is a good one, right? Rob and Keanu start that off. I don't know what inspired them. I'll let them answer that, but I remember hearing that bass and drums going and thinking, what the hell am I going to do? I got to do this. This is very cool. I just couldn't think of what it was, and then it just fell out. And that intro guitar part, because that opening.
That's another math-related death.
Siren.
Hold for sound. So the very beginning of that song, I just play a little brief wah-wah guitar, just a little kind of little thing, because that was me going, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to just sit in the corner and make sounds. And then I liked that, and so it stayed. And it developed into the song that it is. But these guys had that going for a little while, and you know, that, I don't know if that was inspired. I can't answer who inspired that, if it was Joy Division or if it was Philip Glass or if it was, but
Ravi Shankar.
Ravi Shankar, yeah.
This is a question, a double question. Are there any plans for more tours, festivals, or cruise appearances?
Like the Love Boat?
Yes, exactly. Wherever you would be, it would be a love boat, I believe.
I've never been on a cruise. I've never,
You know what? You're not missing
never
anything.
done it.
How many of you would
Two
go
words
to a
fit,
Dogstar
Norovirus,
cruise?
2 words.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're
Yeah, we're
missing
going
an
to charter our
opportunity.
own boat. Yeah, that's going to happen. Okay.
Just sit right back in your
We've got more. we've got plans to keep going until we don't. You know, the Keanu just asked one of our management backstage, what are we doing the end of the year? What are we doing? What are we doing in January? What are we doing? So we're always looking. We're always looking for that next offer and that, you know.
Well, to try to create an offer, the next question they had was, what bands would you love to tour with? Is there anybody who you would, you opening for Bowie, I think you did a show with Bon Jovi very early in your career, but are there bands that you would love to, go around the world with? Anyone come to mind? I'd like a Cure Dogstar tour, personally.
Oh my God, I'll take that. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be a dream come true. I love the Pixies, too.
Yeah,
I mean, there's so many.
absolutely. Shonen Knife and Baby Metal.
Shonen Knife. There you go.
I think, let's see. Okay, I think those are all the questions we have from the people.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for
Thank you.
everybody. Thank you.
We have questions for you now.
Exactly.
How long have you been married?
Blue sweater, third
Yeah.
from the right. How long did it
Who
take you
has
to pick
sleep
out that
apnea?
outfit?
Raise their hand.
So the band is going to go downstairs to get ready. They're going to set the stage. It'll be in just a few minutes. But let's hear it for Dogstar.
Thank you. Thank you, David.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.